It's the daily hot thoughts beyond the cart. And you know I love to shop, but I shop smart. Promo codes and coupons I use, and I can resell for a profit. There's no crying the blues. Visit YouShopTooMuch.com. Go on and treat yourself, you know you wanna.
Hey, I'm Sunshine, and this is the Daily Haul, Thoughts Beyond the Cart. Nothing here is just about the money. We don't just track the dollars or the deals. We explore the people and the purpose behind them. On this show, we unpack everything in life that carries a price tag, mental, emotional, or financial. So if you're a reseller, a saver, or just someone who's here for the conversation, pull up a seat and let's audit some receipts. Keep sending those stories. I really, really, really appreciate you guys. I want to say I've said it before, but this has become quite therapeutic for me. As some of you know, I am a caregiver to my 85-year-old mother. I'm in the house a lot. When I'm not in the house, it's because I'm out running errands and taking care of things and making appointments and going to appointments and picking up things from the grocery store and the pharmacy, and there's not a lot of just activity for me. And I see everyone out living their best life, and I'm here taking care of my mother. Now, on one hand, it's my mother, and what a blessing, it is to have her still here with me. But I'm human, and I can get frustrated, and I can feel bogged down and overwhelmed, and a lot of times alone, even in a house full of people, when people happen to come around, which isn't often at all, to be quite honest. It's kind of lonely because I'm doing the majority of it by myself. People pitch in here and there, but they can do things at their leisure. For me, it is my responsibility. If, God forbid, everybody was just to get on a spaceship and fly away, I am here with my mother. I am not leaving her, Lord willing. Not on my own, anyway. And so, I wanted something for me, something that I could do, something that would bring me pleasure, something that would make me happy. And so this podcast has become that thing now. Today is actually Wednesday. It is Wednesday the 15th. So this podcast was supposed to be recorded and aired on Saturday. So I am late. However, I am not, going to miss it. I'm not going to skip a week. So you'll get the show late, but you will get the show this week. So thank you for being here with me. And like I said, keep sharing your stories. I really appreciate them. And hey, you never know who's tuning in. And, they might be moved by your story. Your experience could be the very thing that gives someone else the courage to face whatever or whoever they've been avoiding. Now, as always, this show is sponsored by YouShopTooMuch.com, your premier source for classic fragrances, fabulous accessories, and curated lifestyle finds. This week's featured item is Lovely Cadence. These earrings are so cute. They're trimmed in white rhinestones, and there's the silver word love in a cursive font. It's cursive inspired, really. It's not really connected like cursive. And it goes across the silver heart hoop. And yes, you heard me correctly. It's a heart, but it presents as a hoop. And this earring, it is on a post fitting. So you do have to have pierced earrings. These are not clip-ons, okay? And it's a decent size hoop. This hoop, it measures approximately 2 inches in diameter. So it's a little something to know before you get them. And I will include a link in the show notes And if you click on that link, you can see, about the size of the earring. One thing I will say is that a lot of times the jewelry, and I've said this before, probably not here on a podcast, but during a live. For some reason, the photos they take on the website for the jewelry, it does not translate how it doesn't represent how actually large the jewelry is. A lot of times, to me, it makes the jewelry look smaller. And then when you get the piece, most of the time for me, I'm pleasantly surprised, because I'm like, oh, I thought it was going to be a little smaller. And I like a say something piece of jewelry. I'm not the dainty demure type of person. I own like one dainty piece of jewelry, honestly, and it is a necklace that one of my closest friends got me, Jennifer, and it's about our tribe, and it's like a triangle, and it has a stone in the middle, and that is one piece of dainty jewelry that I will wear. I love that necklace. I love the meaning behind it. I actually like the necklace itself, and it helps that one of my favorite people gave it to me. So other than that, I am like bulky, hey, oh, I can see it from a distance type of jewelry person. All right. So let's get into this email. This email is called The Lowball Stalker. This is the title of our podcast today, and the subject: my Poshmark no turned into a social media nightmare. I'm not liking this already. Sunshine, I'm officially creeped out. I'm a reseller on Poshmark. I had a pair of designer boots listed for $300, already a steal. A user kept lowballing me, offered me $50 over and over. Been there, been there, been there. I finally blocked her because she wouldn't take no for an answer. Well, she found my personal Instagram. Now she's commenting on photos of my kids and my vacations, saying things like, must be nice to afford a Disney trip when you overcharge for used boots, and scammer alert. I'm terrified. Does the price check include my privacy? How do you handle a buyer who thinks they own you because you didn't give them a discount? Signed, Poshmark Queen. So first and foremost, let me take a moment to just say I am not a fan of Poshmark. And I know for a fact that I've said that here. They kind of did something underhanded, or let me say they allowed a buyer to do something underhanded. Now, I don't know how they are as far as reprimanding buyers for misbehaving like this, but this is a cyber crime, number one. So even if Poshmark doesn't do anything, you can report this. You could contact the local police for something like this. There is a like cybercrime unit that you can reach out to, if you're being stalked by someone. And let's just speak to the fact of how people bully. Okay. One of my first pods one of my first pods was a woman who basically someone was trying to scam her, and she was threatening to give her 1 star. They actually had a transaction. This woman paid, she got her merchandise, and because she found a $100 bill in the pocket, she was trying to tell this person they needed to give her money back because the coat, I want to say it was a coat, was not as described. And she threatened her, with I'm going to give you a 1-star rating. And so that's one of the things that these scammers do. They'll tell you they're going to give you a 1-star rating, or they threaten you in other ways. Oh, I'm going to go and I'm going to talk trash about you. But this person has crossed the line even further, because now they're in your personal space. They're in your personal space, and defamation is a big deal, because how they say, I want your apology to be as loud as what you said about me, where you have people who will say something horrible about a person, and then later on they'll dial it back, and then they'll say, I'm so sorry about that. But the problem is the people who were present when you were saying all these horrible things about me, they're not necessarily going to be present when you apologize. They're not going to be present when you correct things and say, you know what, none of that's true, yada, yada. And so you're on the internet and you don't know who is perusing the space. You don't know who's watching this interaction and reading all of these negative comments that this person is posting about you. And so, something needs to be done. You should be able to have that person blocked off the website. But unfortunately, I've seen firsthand where some social media platforms, I promise you, it's almost like they protect the scammers, they protect the stalkers more than they do, the actual victims. I know a person who, yes, he made a mistake and he sent someone his information because apparently he was not up on, the scams that people perform. And they have this very convincing presentation on how they were sending him some money. And he ended up sending them some identification. And then they went to work on his friend list. And they were getting money out of his friend list. And the platform, Facebook, would not reset his password. They would not hand his account back over to him. And so he ended up speaking to a man he was a foreign man. And he was speaking to the man, and the man was telling him, yes, this is me, and saying the gentleman's name. So he was essentially speaking to himself. And so that's a little off topic, but my point is that sometimes you just have to watch these platforms. So I would report it to the platform, but I would not depend on the platform for justice, okay? Don't depend on them to be the ones to make things right. Now, there is a cybercrime phone number. There's image abuse helpline. It's 844-878-2274. That was 844-878-2274. And there's the cybercrime helpline, which is 1930. So they give some examples of cyber crimes, credit card identity theft, ransomware attacks, phishing, spoofing, cyber stalking, and harassment. So using the internet to target individuals with unwanted, intimidating content. That is where you would fall under the cyber crimes. So, you definitely have a valid reason to reach out to them. And I don't know, whenever I'm working with someone on a sale, I look at their profile. I try my best, my level best, to deal with people who know someone that I know. I try to have, I don't even want 6 degrees of separation. I'd prefer like 2 or 3. I want to know, okay, does this person actually live in the city? Is this person's real name? Has the person or the name or the profile, have they had their account hacked? I'm looking at previous posts. If I get a request from somebody, let's just use Marketplace as an example. If I have somebody reach out to me and they're on Marketplace and this person wants to buy something from me and I look at their account and they haven't been on Facebook, say, since 2014 or 2020, even 22, 23, and then you see a bunch of weight loss ads or a bunch of skincare ads and this person does not appear to have been online at all, I'm going to assume that this is a scammer. This is someone who's commandeered their account and they're going to try to scam me. So I said all that to say that whenever I do see somebody who's legit, I'm checking to see what city they're in. Where are you located? Do you have any friends in common, any mutuals? Because, if you know that she's in the city, you can ask someone, hey, is this her real name? Someone will tell you. And then that way you know who to report. Or they may say, oh no, that's just a nickname she goes by. Her name actually is. And then give you the name. So yeah, my best advice to you is to report her. Again, if you know anybody who knows her, I would reach out. Some people don't like to be exposed. And she calls herself exposing you, but she's really the one who needs to be exposed, because you're becoming a bully over what she believes to be a $50 item. You're charging, $300? But she thinks it's only worth $50. So you're going to get in trouble with the law over $50. That is absolutely insane and so not worth it. It's just not. So, as always, I hope everything works out for you. I hope you protect yourself, and I do hope that you contact the authorities, because this person, if nothing else, someone needs to speak to her and let her know that this behavior is just not okay. And if you're listening to this situation and you've been through something similar, or if you have any other story for us here on the Daily Haul, Thoughts Beyond the Cart, by all means, please send us an email to ifshoppingwascardio@gmail.com. Again, that is ifshoppingwascardio@gmail.com. I am Sunshine, and until next time, y'all be good.